All right, everybody. My name is Fausto from Cybertrade University. Just welcome back, everybody. Let me get a co-host and get some things up here running. Good to see. All right, there we go. Perfect. Welcome, everyone. My name is Fausto, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to be here at 12 o'clock in the afternoon here in New York. Beautiful weather. I don't know how that beautiful. It's like 40 degrees, but it's been a very mild winter. And how do we benefit from that? Trading. How could that help? There's a lot of things that are happening. EV stocks are making big moves today. There's a couple of other stocks regarding what's going on in China. The education stocks are moving. There's a lot of good things that are moving, but I want to teach you how to follow them, because when you go out there and trade, you got to know how to play the game. You got to know why these things go up and down, what's making them run, what drives them from going higher. And it all comes down to one thing and one thing only: following the money. And that's what we're going to teach you. So I'm going to show you how we uncover these big orders out on Wall Street. Now, let me just change the slide here and get my little pointer out here. So before we get started, just really quick, just a little disclaimer, just let you know, this is strictly just educational purposes. I'm not making any warranties, guarantees, just please go out there and be smart when you go out there and trade. Okay. Now, what we're going to cover today is some very important topics. Okay, we're going to probably talk for about, maybe 30, 40 minutes tops. It's going to go very, very fast. And let me tell you, the more you ask questions, the more you're going to realize that you just need to know how to play the game. So we're going to talk about how to follow the big money. We're going to talk about how to find the most important tools to use, best times to trade. We're going to talk about how to develop a system around being an overwhelming, well-rounded trader. We're going to talk about a couple of strategies on swing trading. A lot of you here think like, well, is this only day trading? No, listen, you want to be a good options trader. You want to be a good swing trader. You got to know what happens over the course of the day. I'm going to read why most people make big mistakes on charts. I don't know. I feel like 80, 90% of the people are reading charts backwards. You probably know what I'm talking about, but we're going to cover that and a hell of a lot more. Now, just a little history about myself. If you don't know who I am, I've been doing this for over 30 years now. I'm one of the original educators that started the whole industry. I'm actually one of the original day traders that started the industry. Now, how does that spill into you? Well, the way I learned how to be a very successful trader is I went to go work for somebody, okay, after blowing up 2 accounts. A lot of people think like, oh, let me try it. If I like it, then I'll go learn how to do it. I don't know if I want a doctor to tell me that before I go into surgery. And I know you wouldn't want to give your money to somebody that wanted to go learn it on his own before he actually worked for somebody. So this is why it's a big failure rate. And living here in New York, I end up working for somebody, and what sucked about it is I had to split the profits. I had to go truck myself into the city, or all over here, or different offices all over New York. I didn't like doing that, but let me tell you what you're going to learn. On the first day on the job, what I've learned, it was worth every single penny that I did it, because if I didn't know what they taught me, what you need to know, I would never need to know I would never learn how to be a successful trader, because you're going to learn that today. You're going to see things and be like, my God, I knew there was something up with that guy. I knew this was something. Why is not more people talking about this? And you're going to realize that you've been trading blind since the first trade that you've done. And don't take it in a bad way. This is a good way, because you probably wouldn't be here if you were doing that great. So my question to everybody here is, I want to just get to know a little bit about everyone. You guys tell me how long you guys been investing for and trading for. And I mean, taking it seriously. Is it a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years? How long have all of you guys out there just started? Just out of curiosity. Couple of months? Okay. Rye did it for 3 years. Jane's about 6 months. 2 years. Okay, good. Now, my next question to you is this. And by the way, nobody can read anybody's chat other than me and everyone as a panelist. Be honest with me. Are you making money? Are you breaking even? Are you losing money? How overall, how's everybody doing? Breaking even. Okay. Anyone else? Losing. All right. Well, at least somebody's admitting to it. Poorly, Jerry. Okay. James doing okay. Well, up and down. Okay, so that's like breaking even. Lorene. All right. By the way, there are people in here, Bob, Charles, Elaine, Forrest. Guys, don't be scared. Be honest with yourself. Nobody's gonna rat you out to your spouse or your friend who you're borrowing your money to. Listen, if you can't admit that you're losing or what you're doing, you'll never be successful in trading. And I'll give you some great advice right now. You should lock out right now and go start listening to some stockbrokers and just give your money to them. Okay. Piss poor with high spirits. Oh my God, I like that one. that's a first. All right. So let me tell you why people fail. All right. And then we'll go into the strategy behind it. First of all, one thing they do is they're not really doing one specific thing. They're doing multiple things. They're doing options. Then they jump into futures. Then they do swing trading. Then that doesn't work. Then they want a day trade, or they do a day trade and it turns into a swing trade. You got to focus on one thing, and it all starts actually, believe it or not, on day trading, because what happens over the course of the day trickles into a swing trade or an options. The next thing people do is they just read all day. They never come to admit that you got to hit the button after a while. Books don't talk back to you, okay? And that's where people get themselves in trouble. Another thing they do, people don't want to spend any money, okay? They're cheap. I want the cheap. Who's got the cheapest tickets, okay? Anyone here ever fix their house or maybe fix your car? Do you go to the cheapest guy, and say, oh, well, he was the cheapest? I'm not telling you to go to the most expensive guy, but you got to do your due diligence. See who's out there. Make sure. Listen, there's a time to when you be cheap, and there's a time when you got to spend. But there is a time when you can't get nothing for free in this business, because the only thing is free, is the cheese in the mouse trap. All right, and we all know what happened to that mouse. Another big mistake people make. They trade by themselves. I mean, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to invite all of you, when we're all done, to come into my trading room, and you're going to meet hundreds of traders that we've trained and see what it's all about. So that is going to be, your bonus is sticking around. All right. And you're going to see everything I'm saying and say, hey, Fausto, do you practice what you preach? Hell, not only me, my instructors, my students, all of them. You're going to see that. So trading by yourself, no. Another one, maybe if you are trading with somebody, okay, couple of things you got to look at. How is everybody else doing in the room? Don't look at him, the guy that meant, or who's running the room. How are the other traders are doing? Are they successful? How many of us actually went to go get a job and work to someone and like, oh, I wish I could work for that company, but I got to work for this company. And you're like, and then you wonder why you're not going anywhere. It's like, you could see the difference from a good company, well-run company versus a poorly run company. Same thing. Another mistake people make. And this is one of the biggest things we teach at Cyber Trading University. We don't teach you how to make money. We teach you how to stop losing it. People don't know how to take losses. Everyone likes to talk about the winners. Nobody wants to talk about the losers. Big mistake people make. And another thing, they're not able to make quick decisions because they're over analyzing things. They want to go out there and they're like, okay, what's the stock doing? Let me look at the chart. Let me look at the indicator. Maybe there's another indicator. Let me look at that indicator with that indicator with that indicator. How about looking at the future? Looking at the orders. That's what we're going to focus on. Okay. But everything takes patience. And that's what you have to look at. And it all starts at one thing, which you're doing right now. You are here to interview Cyber Trading University, and you want to see, can we teach you and be the right mentor for you? And everybody here needs to listen to a few different people, and you're going to have to go, and you might have to take a couple of classes from different people around the world. But the thing is, you have to find someone that, that you could adapt to, someone that you could understand. And that's what the great part about it. Now, how to become very successful? Here's some of the big things. Number one, having the right brokerage account. We don't work for the brokerage firms. We have no allegiance to them. We don't get paid by them. Okay. They will love us to send you to them because they know that having a trained student will be a client theirs forever. But you got to have the right brokerage account. Every brokerage firm is different, depending on what kind of trader you are. Just because you have a well-named brand name company doesn't mean it's geared to the type of trading you're doing. And we'll take care of that. And by doing that is having also the right setup on a trading platform. Another big mistake that to how to be very successful people make is they go out there and you got to risk a lot of money to trade stocks. I mean, are you here to trade the stock because you know the name, or you're here to make money? Okay. Dean, very good TradeStation, great company. Okay. We actually showcase them in our trading room, and you'll see that. So you're looking forward to that. But going out there, you want to risk the least amount of money with the high amount of reward. Okay. This is like real estate. What makes real estate make money in real estate? Location, location, location. Okay. Not going out there. You don't want to spend a ton of money in a high crime, no business, a place, and like, oh, that looks like a good place to run a family. Well, you know that's not. But guess what? You're making that mistake with certain stocks. Also, focusing on pre-market by looking at the big gainers, percentage gainers and losers. There's so many of you here that don't have access to pre-market, and you're not looking at what's moving in the market. And that's what it's all about, because when you surround yourself with people that are successful, that's how you become very successful. So just a couple of tips I want to cover, and let's jump right in and show you how to use those things that we just talked about. First of all, sometimes you look at the market and you're like, okay, is it going up? Is it going down? I'm not sure. You saw the market take a big hit the other day. There's so much uncertainty in the market. I just listened to the radio. One analyst on TV said we're going to expect a crash about 20-30% in the next 3 months. I mean, which is okay, because us as traders, we'll just short. You know what I mean? We'll just short. But you can't wait on that day. Every single day there are things that are moving, like this stock, BBIO. Look at this thing. It went from $17 to $20 in about 2 hours. Weight Watchers, stock we trade the other day, you probably would never think about it. Listen, I don't know. They get whatever the news is. I think they'll get into the diet drug something, whatever. Made the stock go from $4.50 to $7. Oh, I don't believe in Weight Watchers. Well, I don't believe in it either, but doesn't mean I'm not going to trade it. You know what I mean? Like, you made a lot more money trading this one than maybe trading Amazon or Facebook or Tesla, that you had to go spend so much money, or even a stock like AMAM. This thing went from 7 to 13. That's almost literally 100% move. Why would you not want to trade that? Okay. But some of you are asking, well, how did it go up? Why did it go up? Who ran it up? That is the question. And that's what we're going to talk about. So where do we find these stocks before they make their big moves? Very simple. I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. But you all have the same technology that I have. I just work off my big percentage gainers. Now you're looking at this list and you're probably saying, there's a lot of stocks on that list, Fausto. 70%, 25%, 50%. How do you know which one to trade? Well, when I invite you in my trading room, we're going to show you how to dissect those and trade the one that's going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Because you only need one to make your days pay. You can't trade them all. Now, another thing we're going to talk about. How do we follow these orders? How do we know what they're going up? So my question to you is this. I got a question to ask everyone. What makes stocks go up and go down? Let's see how you guys could answer this question. How do they go up and down? What drives them? And I'll just wait here for you. Lorene, you're absolutely right. James, you're wrong. Ray, you're right. I'm not going to say what the answer is. Robert, you're right. Adam, you're right. Dareen, you're right. Look at everybody here. Ronald, you're wrong. Okay. Volatility does not make the stock go up and go down. It's buyers and sellers. Think about it. Buyers and sellers. Who are you to dictate or know more than where 70% of the buyers and sellers are? How about just following where 70% of the buyers and sellers are? That's what I'm going to show you. So what you're about to see right now, okay, is going to be very disturbing, because I am going to show you the secret behind Wall Street. I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up that curtain. I'm going to show, And by the way, this is not the Fausto indicator, or this is not, I'm not here selling any of that stuff. I am going to show you exactly how Wall Street trades and the tools that they use, and you can get the same tools on your own. Okay. Now, we got three ways that we kind of look at orders. There are level 2, level 3, and level 4. Okay. I want to cover them really quick so you know what I'm talking about. First of all, I would assume most of you know what level 2 is. Every brokerage firm offers it. It's that little swiggly box that moves really, really fast with all these orders. Now, let me just draw a couple of lines here and let me kind of educate you guys here. So these are your buyers, right? B stands for buyers. S stands for sellers. Now you got 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The first column is a 4-letter abbreviation of a brokerage firm. The second column is the price that brokerage firm or that exchange wants to buy that stock for. And the third column is how many shares. Everything there is multiplied by 100. Now, you're probably getting a kick out of this, be like, wait a minute, there's only 100, there's only whatever, 100 shares looking to be bought at the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, I bought 1,000, I could buy 1,000 shares of this. Why are they buying 100? Well, that's what you're going to learn. Okay. And we're going to get to that. The key is this. What you're looking at is all the buyers and all the sellers, and at what price they want to buy it and what price they want to sell it. So you are now witnessing of every order out there that's trading at every exchange. Now, you're probably thinking that that's pretty overwhelming, and you're probably thinking like, how does that help you? But we're going to get to that. Okay. Right now, you just need to understand this is a car, and these are the 4 wheels, and this is the engine. Okay. Now, how do we drive it? That's the next thing. Remember, to keep it more, lame or simple, let's say, you've been dealing with public transportation. Now you're going to find out the truth about how to drive your own car. So let me move this over here and let me just clear some animation here. There we go. All right. Now, does anybody here have something called NASDAQ Book Viewer? Just out of curiosity. Anybody ever heard of it or used it before? Anything? No one here has it? So I'm going to show you a quick little video. When you go to our website, this is actually at the NASDAQ Center. Okay, that's me right there demonstrating exactly how to trade on the exchange on NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually hires me to even train their own staff, because they need to understand how, just because they know that they're working at exchange, they got to know why it works and how to utilize it. And they want you to learn how to use it. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to explain to everyone how this actually works. What you're seeing right now is that you have a seat on the exchange. Okay. You literally have a seat on the floor. If you started when I started, this would probably cost you about several $1 million. Okay. Now, guess what it costs? $15. Some of it's even cheaper depending on your brokerage account. Now, let me ask you a dumb question, because I need to find this out for myself. Do you think it's worth paying $15 to have a seat on the exchange? Would anybody pay for that? $15 to have a seat. I used to pay, just get this data when I was watching it back then, I had to pay $1,000 a month. $15 to have a seat to see where Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, every institution, every algorithm, every high frequency trade, every dark pool, literally $15. No, it's not called Steve Time and Sales. Absolutely not. That is a totally different window, Steve. Okay. Darlene, would you pay for it? Derek, I didn't hear from you. Would you pay $15 to have a seat on the exchange right now? Wouldn't you like to know where, Warren Buffett is on the stock that maybe you're trading in right now? Would you want to own a stock that he's dumping it right now? Of course. So listen, I know I'm asking a very dumb question, But sometimes it takes someone to ask a dumb question to get a dumb answer, because some people are not answering this question. And that's what boggles my mind. It's like, you want to trade in this business, okay? Why not know how it works? So let me just show you the value of this really quick, okay? What you're seeing is every order out there, and you're seeing every single price level out there. So let's look at this example right here. You're looking at Weight Watchers, all right? Weight Watchers had, you can see how it came down from 620, right? And you can see right here, right? And then all of a sudden it stopped right around here, right? So it went from 620 down to 520. Why did it stop at 520? Why did it go down to 5? Why didn't it stop at 560? Why did it have to pick 520? Well, I'll tell you why. When you look over here on the exchange and you see where all those buyers are at, most of them are sitting here for 65,000 at $5.20. Not at 525, not 512, but 520. Okay. What do you think is going to happen when you come up to, a 65,000 share buyer, which is probably 30, 40, 50 times the normal order that's out there? Are you trading 65,000 shares of a stock? I completely doubt it. All right. But there are people are. And by seeing that, what happened? It hit that support, it went up. It hit that support, went up. You have to understand something. Support levels do not exist unless buyers are out there. Resistance levels do not exist unless sellers are out there. So you could smack on any indicator you want, but unless those 65,000 share buyers are out there, guess what? You're trading blind. Okay? Now, I'm not done because we got a lot more to go. Look what happens when you come up to a very big resistance levels. Here's a stock, REVN. Okay, stock has a really big run. It starts right around 1420. It goes to 1510 in less than an hour and a half. Now let's do the math. If you happen to buy 1,000 shares of that stock, right, and it goes from 1420 to 1510, you're talking 90 cents. So let's just use simple math. $1. $1 on 1,000 shares is $1,000, $250,000 salary. Okay. Now, a lot of you probably say, okay, how would I have known it got out of 1510? Well, what makes a resistance? Sellers. When you look over here at the NASDAQ book viewer, you work your way down, you got sellers at every single penny level. But the biggest one is right around here between 1510 and 1511. You got 43,000 share seller and a 31,000 share seller. So if it came down to it, I will definitely always take consideration a 2,000 share seller because someone's starting to sell it. I'll even do, 3,000, but I could tell you one thing, 43,000, 30,000, you're talking almost 75,000 shares looking to get out there. Okay. You're talking over $1 million worth of stock. I'd rather watch him than everyone else. Now, can you have support levels without buyers, and can you have resistance levels without sellers? Okay, well, let's go check out the stock BBIO. All right. Can everyone tell me what is the trend of the stock? What's the trend of it? Up, down, what do you think? Down, 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 Mike, Adam down, Robert down, down. Congratulations. Okay, you passed the test. All right. Not a very difficult question. Okay, now here's a $64,000 question. You ever in a stock and like something like this, and you're losing money in a short period of time? You're like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I get out? Do I sell it now? I mean, or do you ever get into the hope situation? What do we need for the stock to go up? Everybody, what do we need for it to go higher? Yes, Adam. Yes, you need buyers, right? Now, let me tell you why 90% of people fail in trading. Do you see buyers on a chart? Steve, you don't need a miracle. If you need a miracle, you shouldn't be in this trading. Okay. Do you see buyers on a chart? Everyone loves charts. Oh, you got to have the chart. Oh, you got to have this. You got to have the Fibonacci. Oh, you got Schenken. You see his commercial. Oh, you got to get the Schenken report. Oh, you did. I mean, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just trying to educate you a little bit more of how to be successful at it. You might not like it. You probably don't like when someone's being honest with you, but let's think about it. You see buyers out here? Everybody's looking for the buyer, right? I don't see a damn buyer on this thing. I don't care how far back you go. So think about this. You keep watching the past. How about we look in the future? Okay. So let's go look. What could be actually the future? The future is orders. So let's go over here and check out on the exchange. Okay. So we're looking now, we're going down. So what do we need? We need to find where the buyers are. So the buyers are on the left. And as I work my way down, I noticed, oh, wow, there's a 22,000 share buyer at 1550. And you can see it right here on the left-hand side. I mean, there are buyers everywhere. There's buyers at every single penny. But the majority is sitting there between $15.51 and $15.50. So what, in theory, what do you think is going to happen when we get down to that price? If you follow that money, you will prevail. Because look what happened to this stock from 10 o'clock to 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, 1, 2. How much more does it have to explain to you? And then sure enough, goes from $15.50 all the way up to 17. Thank you very much. I would take that money any day. By the way, did I lose anybody yet? Is anyone confused? Because what did we really cover? Following the money. All right, everyone following along? Listen, we only been talking for what? 15 minutes I basically trained you? Imagine what I could teach you and seeing this live in the market, because that's what the goal is. I am going to invite every single one of you here to see this live, okay? Because anybody can make a pretty PowerPoint, right? You're like, oh, I saw this song and dance before. Well, we're going to practice what we preach. We're going to bring you in the room and you're going to see it. And then you're going to open up your eyes and you're going to make that decision in a way of, oh, now I know why, I need to do this way and that way. Let's go look at this BLPT, by the way. Here's a stock that's had a really big pop in the afternoon, went from $4.20 up to $6. Now, you're probably asking yourself, do you take the profit? Do you get in? Is it too late to get in? Remember, everyone has different situations. Well, the thing is this. Where are the sellers? Where are people looking to get out? And when you look over here, you can see there's 37,000 shares in BLPH sitting over there at $6.20. Okay. Big seller out there. Sellers at every single price level, but that specifically is the resistance. So what do you think happens when we get to that resistance? Hit that and came right back down to 560. How many times have you been in a stock being like, man, why didn't I get out? Why didn't I follow my instinct? Or you're sitting there like, what the hell just happened? Why did the stock go down on me? Like, what drove it? I didn't like, who is responsible of making the stock go down? Nobody's responsible. The responsibility is you should have known that there was a 37,000 share seller out there. That's the only person to blame is yourself. And these are what we call iceberg orders, big block orders. See, it's not what's on top of the water, it's what's on the bottom of the water, because it didn't work too well for the Titanic. Now, can I get NASDAQ book viewer? I think that's everyone's next question. Absolutely. I am not here to hide and hold anything back. You can go right to NASDAQ and you can purchase it right at the data store. So take a picture of that and basically write it down right now, datastore.nasdaq.com. Now, do I recommend you to buy it? No, for one reason. I want to show you live in the market. So if you want to get it, let me show you how it works, because you got to know how to set up the defaults and all that stuff. So that's also very important for you when it comes into trading. Now, how can I tell if an iceberg order gets broken through? Okay, listen, stocks break resistance levels all the time. Well, unfortunately, some people might think that they want to buy it at that price. So you will always see things like, oh, we just broke a resistance. We just broke a new resistance. We broke a new resistance. Well, remember, resistance levels are broken because someone was trying to sell it and somebody bought it from them. Now, and we're going to cover that also in the trading room. Let's talk about one other thing. Have you anyone ever heard of level 4? Anybody here ever heard of level 4 quotes? Some of you have. Yeah, Bookmap is one of them. Yes. Laureen, you have. Okay, good. Wow, there are almost 100 people here, and a lot of you can't even answer that question. Okay. You thought that was good? Wait till you see this. The problem with like a lot of these level 2s and level 3s is that when we get older, maybe some of us, like, we see these numbers move pretty quickly. I think that's why a lot of people like to look at a chart, because it's very just, it's just very simple. It's a nice little line. You know what I mean? It just gives you the trend and everything. But what if I told you that there is a platform out there that is a chart, but not what you've been trained to learn on the past, but to learn towards the future? So imagine seeing on a chart that you see all these orders right here on the right. We see my little mouse. We'll say this is the level 3 quotes, but now you get to see, how long he's been out there, and is he getting executed? And also, most importantly, you could aggregate all the exchanges under one platform. So now, listen, you might have a big buyer on the New York Stock Exchange, but you might not see him on the NASDAQ. All right. So you're like, I don't understand. How did the stock go up? I didn't see any buyers out there. Well, did you see what was on the other exchange? Probably not. And that's the little things that are going to help you become better at it. It's finding where those orders are. Let's go look at a popular stock that's been moving and everyone's obviously talking about is AI. Okay, Chat GTP, basically. Here you have AI stock had a really big run since, like, basically it started in December. Now kind of like died out right now. But here you have see stock how it went up, and you see this big seller right here. You see all these big orders out here. Okay, so what happened is that is called the resistance levels. Now, but in this situation, you ever heard of a breakout? What happened here is somebody bought it from that seller after, I don't know, 30 minutes. And once that seller was executing, gone, look what ended up happening. It went to the next resistance levels. And then you had this seller for 42,000 shares at 29. He's been out there since 2:30. But meanwhile, it's already 2:45. Look what happened when we got close to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's going right up to that resistance levels. Let's look at Revyon. Okay. Revyon, another great example. Look how you see these buyers out here. You ever see a stock just like a falling knife? You just keep going down and down and down, and you knew you had support levels, and you wondered, why did it break that low? And how did it break that low? Well, like I told you, you ever see orders getting done? Here you have an example of a stock where, you see a buyer right there going out there, and he gets executed at that, was that 1750-ish? He got executed. Where's it go? Goes down to the next support level. Next buyer was out there at 930, came up to $17. What did it happen? He got executed. What happens when you break through a support? It goes to the next support. Where's the next one? 1650. See 169,000 share seller out there? See how it hit it, went up back to 1690, came back down. These are the things that you have to look at. And then all of a sudden, not only was there 160,000, but now look what ended up happening. You got more and more bigger buyers showed up, 250,000, 250,000 shares. Look at all these big buyers that showed up. See how the red started coming in? That means someone started adding to his order. Okay, that's basically what ends up happening. And that's what makes the stock go up, and that's what makes the stock goes down. And that's how you notice, how, from having 250,000 shares, and then boom, now you got another 145 just showed up. Now this increased the downward pressure movement of Revlon, which we'll talk about next. Look what happens if the guy got executed, which happened here. Look what happened. They kept testing it. 250,000 shares was out there to be bought at 1650. Now look what ended up happening. 458,000 shares showed up. When you break through a major support, and if someone executes that person, which you all know, you've been there and done that, look how fast the stock goes down. And it even took the guy out at 16. And it went all the way down to 1550. It just kept taking people out. And that is a sign of a crash in the stock. That is a disaster. So as much as we've learned what makes support and resistance levels as buyers and sellers. Look what happens, because you've all witnessed it. What makes stocks break that support? Well, that support level you thought you knew what was support was a big buyer. But what happens if someone said, oh, you want to buy it? Here, my pleasure. Here it is. Take it off my hands. And when he's executed, guess what? If there's no one there to help buy it again, without buyers, you're going to have sellers step in, and then that stock's going to go down to the next biggest buyer. You see, you have to know how to play the game. You might not like what you see. You might be really upset about it. You probably are victimized by it. But the fact is the fact. You want to compete in this market. You want to be successful at it. You want to learn how to get the crumbs on the floor. You got to watch the big boys. That's where it just comes down to it. So with that said, everyone, does anyone have any questions? Any questions so far? Think about how much you've learned. Our OTC stocks, yes, Lorene, but I don't really trade small cap stocks. Sometimes you don't see the big orders as much. And, listen, if you're good at it, it's one thing, but I kind of stick with the more NASDAQ national, more national stocks, blue chip stocks and stuff like that. Any other questions? Tracy has a question. Do buyers sometimes enter fake orders and then they pull them and trick the market? Tracy, listen, you could put an order out there and you could change your mind, whatever it is. It happens, okay? But that's just a fact how the game's being played. Okay. Listen, I'm going to show you something right now. I'm going to show you something pretty cool. We were talking about Revon, right? I'm going to show you something going on in the market right now. This is the actual, look at this right here. Okay. Revon started this morning. Here's 9:30, right? It started this morning and it came down to this buyer right around 1480-ish, something like that. Okay. It went all the way up. And you notice how these sellers started showing up? Look at this seller, 85,000 shares at 1550, 67,000 at 1530, 65,000 at 1520. And then you can see how the stock is trying to trend down. And then all of a sudden, this guy ends up showing up for about 100,000 shares at 1480. And look what the stock did. It went from 1488, 1485, whatever it is. And it went all the way up to $15. Now, that's not a really big move. But do you notice how when he showed up, the stock went up? Do you notice when these people showed up on the offer, the stock went down? You see how it's trading in a range? I mean, going out there and said, oh, I'll buy the stock at 1560. Why would you buy it at 1560? Why don't you wait to see? You could always buy it cheaper and you always could sell it for more. Why are you going to buy in between a floor and a ceiling? Why don't you buy at the floor and sell at that ceiling? That's where it comes in. But regarding about your fake orders that you talked about, listen, people can cancel orders all the time. You just got to know how to play the game. April has a question. How does someone find out if they have stocks in their name? I don't know what you mean by that. Find stocks. How do you find out stocks in their name? I don't know what you mean. April, you got to talk to a stockbroker about that. All right. We're here to trade, not to find out and be an accountant. How much money do you need to start? Okay, let me tell you, these are a couple of popular questions I got. You don't need any money. Okay, forget about money right now. Forget about opening a brokerage account, everything else. Your goal is to find out if trading is for you or not. Okay. Next question is, do I need a brokerage firm to start your program? No. If you have one, great. There's no reason to rush to get into it. We're going to have everything shown to you live in the market. The least of your problems right now. Last thing we want you to do is buy, a stock. All right. So now your next question is, how do you register? Does everybody have their phone? Okay. You can manually type in ctu.co/CG -free or scan that right now. Okay. Take your phone and scan it. Now, what are you going to get with this stuff? A ton of stuff. Basically, I'm going to give you 1 day access in my trading room. 1 day access, okay? When you're ready to start it, we'll start it. You want to start tomorrow, we'll start tomorrow. You want to start next week, we'll start next week, okay? but I want to give you a full day in there so you can see what the hell's going on and what we do in the trading room to say, you know what, this sounds too good to be true. Let me go see how this really works. I want to invite you in there. You can see it. Next, I want to give you a couple of workshops. Okay. Basically, how to use the platform, like how to use Book Viewer and all that stuff, how level 4 works, all that stuff. So I'm going to throw in all these, we usually charge for this. I came up and I said, you know what, there's just too many people losing money. Okay. Let me build your trust first. So we know what we're talking about, and we'll go from there. Next, you're going to get access to all our workshops that we've done, our libraries, our traders talks, our journaling, all that stuff. I really want to make sure that you have the best experiences possible with the small amount of time that you have to kind of give you that confidence that, listen, if we're the right school for you and you do your orientation, this is basically where you're going to have to, this is where you probably want to reside. But every one of you need to know how to play the game of trading. And not only that, as a bonus, I'm willing to give you, everybody here, my book for free. Now, listen, you can go to Amazon right now. You could buy it. It's $47. Okay. And I would appreciate the $47. But you know what? If you register one day, I'll give you the PDF version for free right here, right now. Okay. It's a great read. It's a fast read. You probably read it 2-3 times, but gets right to the point. All right. Now, all you have to do one last time, take your phone or click on that link that we just posted and get in this trading room now. If you're sick and tired of watching commercials and worried about people put the fear of God in you, and you're watching all these YouTube videos, how about coming joining us and see why CyberTrade University has a 5-star rating on Google over 30 years, which is almost impossible. Why CyberTrade University has been endorsed by more brokerage firms than any school in the industry. Okay, you probably been trained by somebody and there's not even a brokerage firm that endorsed them. We've been doing this long enough because we respect you as a trader, as an investor, and as a student. But just keep in mind, not trading is for all of you. And you know what? That's okay. Everyone out there wants to learn how to make money. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to teach you how to stop losing it. That you're probably shocked that no one ever taught you that. Because how do I know that? That's how I was trained 30 years ago. And I want to pass that knowledge over to you. Because if I could do that, then, and if you're qualified and you like this, hopefully we'll take you under our wing and you can be part of our family at CyberTrade University. Now, with that said, a couple of people are registering right now. I want to do a couple of shout outs. John, I got your registration. Welcome aboard. Appreciate it. Lucy got your registration. Welcome aboard. Now, listen, when you fill out your registration, everyone here, we're going to ask you a couple of questions. Let us know a little about you. Have you taken training before? Okay. What is your experience? Do you have level 3 access? So please let us know a little bit more. The more you tell us about you, the more we can help you. All right. Any other questions? Does this work? What about options? We can talk about options. That's another question that came up. Listen, you want to be a good options trader? You damn well better learn how to trade the stock first. It's the movement of the stock that makes an option move. I don't understand why anybody would trade an option other than someone told them, hey, it's got great leverage. You don't need a lot of money to do this. You know what? That's like, to me, that reminds you of the subprime days of loan mortgages. Okay. If you don't have the money, you shouldn't be in the first place. That is an option. That's not your number one option. That should be your second option. So don't even worry about that right now. Okay. Listen, if you can't make money just by trading the stock in black and white, you absolutely have no chance of succeeding. And the worst thing that could happen to you is that you make money doing it. Because that's what happened during COVID. Everybody who jumped into COVID, people are home and they thought, oh, I could do this. This is great. Wow. And they thought they were like, they hit lotto and they think they did great. No one has made money in 2 years after COVID. Okay. They've been flatlined or they're losing and they're realizing, wow, I didn't realize it was that hard. It was so easy then. Okay. So these are things we need to cover. Where do you look for ideas to trade, Adam? That's a great question. Did you register yet? Because I did not see your name come across. Because if you want that answer, I did cover it, and I'm going to cover it in the trading room. Okay. But in simple, just a simple explanation, we just work off the big percentage gainers and losers. Remember, you're here to not make money, but to survive and to stop losing. The winners take care of themselves. Forget about the winners. You got to know that if you're on the wrong side, that you don't get suckered in, because you're one trade away that could blow up your account. You don't want to start averaging down. You don't want to start holding overnights. You don't want to say, oh, let me hedge myself on an option. It just doesn't work. Okay. No problem, Adam. Appreciate it. Any other questions? What else I got here? Marlene, I got your registration. Welcome aboard. Who else I got? I see registration. David, got your registration. Bill, got your registration. Plays down. It's free. You know what? This is something we haven't done in a long time. I'm giving you my book for free. Okay. We usually charge for you to get in the room. I am doing it, giving you a 1-day pass for you to see that everything we talked about and show you examples how these things build support and resistance levels. Don't lose this opportunity. Okay. And also, very important, everyone here is going to be talking to an education advisor. It is important that you go out there and talk to an education advisor at Cyber Trade University, so they can at least tell you when you go into the trading room, you know exactly what to experience. All right, everybody. So with that said, I'd like to thank everybody here. Hopefully everybody got their phones, they scanned it, they registered. If you're not, you can just type that in there. You can click on the link, and I look forward to see every single one of you in the trading room. Okay. And last but not least, if you don't continue with Cyber Trade University, or maybe it's not your style, whatever it is, just remember one thing. You have to learn, okay, before you can earn. You can't just go out there and think you want to try it and do it. And I know, if someone gave you money and say, hey, you look like you know what to trade? Could you trade all my money? You probably said, I can't make money myself. You have to learn from somewhere, okay? You got to surround yourself with good mentors. You all know what it's like to have a mentor. We all had mentors in our lives. Our parents are our mentors. Our big brothers are our mentors. Our big sisters are our mentors. Our teachers were our mentors. There are people that our boss who we work for was our mentor. They want us to succeed. I want you guys to succeed because there's just too many people that lose money in trading for the one main reason: ignorance. And if you think ignorance is expensive, if you think trading is expensive, try ignorance. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you like that common sense. I love that comment. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all in the trading room. In the meantime, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.